Something absolutely massive just dropped in Node.js. You may have woken up this morning and checked out Twitter only to see that, well, experimental strip types has been added as an option to Node.js. Now, this is in the Node 23 Nightly currently, but what this means is that you can write TypeScript code using actual .ts files in Node.js without having to run any sort of compile step. This is amazing, and it's something that a lot of people have been very excited about ever since the proposal from TC39 for type annotations. The dream of using TypeScript without any sort of compile step. And what's really cool about this is that it uses SWC, wasm-typescript, and if you've been paying attention to SWC at all, you'll know that this is a really neat project. And if you're a fan of SWC and maybe you built something with it, or you're building something with it, or using it in your applications, it's probably a good feeling to know that this thing isn't going anywhere because it's going to be used in Node. So what does this mean for TypeScript? Does this check your types? No, does not do any type checking. You'll still need TypeScript to actually check your types. But this means that we won't need to run a build process just to run this code in Node. Now, if we want to see this in action, what you can do is scroll all the way to the bottom of this GitHub issue, which this is, again, it's called Add Experimental Strip Types if you want to look this up. At the very bottom here, they link to a nightly that you can try out yourself, or if you just want to give it a try and see that it works, there's a code sandbox here that shows this in action. So if you see this here, we have an index.ts file. This is using actual TypeScript types. It's a .ts file. Now, if we head to the package.json, you'll notice some things. There is no TypeScript dependency, and also you can tell that this code is running because it's outputting the hello TypeScript here. If we check out the start script, you'll see that it's simply just running Node Nightly, which is the equivalent if you're used to running Node. And they're running experimental strip types, index.ts, and this thing runs. So this means you'll be able to run actual TypeScript files in Node without a compile step. That's incredible. I think this is a massive step forward. Node has been absolutely on fire, adding amazing things to the language lately, and having TypeScript support directly in Node is something that a lot of us have been waiting for, and something a lot of us have been really hoping would come into the process, because let's face it, having a build process for everything isn't always the best, right? Sometimes you just want to even get started writing a Node file. Next thing you know, you're installing a dependency to execute your TypeScript file, or perhaps even having to use something like Dino just to use TypeScript without a build step. So check it out, read through this GitHub issue. I highly recommend getting a deep understanding of what's going on here, but at the end of the day, it's allowing you to use and import .ts files in your application. One small tidbit is that I know some of you like to do your imports without an extension on them. This does require your imports to have a .ts extension on them to work. So if you're the type of person that really enjoys that, well, you're going to have to get used to writing .ts unless you want a build step. Now, I don't think that's a problem personally. In fact, I don't care at all. I like that it's explicit when you use a .ts or something. So for me, it's not a big deal. I know some people will have a bit of a rub with that, but this is incredible. It's now in Node 23, which means that it will be coming down the line for normal, everyday Node users very soon. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think. Do you hate TypeScript? Are you upset that this was added to Node.js? Are you still resisting types? Or does this now unlock TypeScript for you because you don't need a build process now to use these things? I know me personally, I was writing JS doc type style quite frequently to avoid adding a build process. Now I'm not going to have to do that, and I'm stoked about it. So let me know what you think down below. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts on not only this addition to Node, but also the proposal from TC39. As always, this is Scott from Syntax. Peace.